Hey, this is Brian Hegney, instructor of Game and Interactive Media Design. So the next thing I want to do is talk to us how we can add some really cool other types of textures on here. Now this may get a little complicated because I already have some normal mapping going on here. So I have a normal map that kind of tells me what bulges, what doesn't bulge, and so when I add... I'm going to be looking for wood textures, and like here's one, and I'm going to right click and copy that image and open it up in this map, in my diffuse map. Hit Control V, and I'm going to hit Control T to and hold down, and just hold down the corner option. And I'm just going to make this really big. This might be too big. Double click it. I actually don't need it that big, so I'm going to hit Command Z, or Control Z, Control T, bring this down here, and make this as big as that, likely. The next thing I'm going to do... See, if I drag this layer below the hue saturation, actually I want this below the hoops as well, but we'll see. We'll deal with that in a second. What I'm going to do is, well, good. I mean, I can. You're hearing me do things in real time. I am going to right-click this wood layer and duplicate that layer. And move it slightly over. And I think I'll do the same thing. I'll do it again. This isn't going to be perfect. I'm kind of annoyed at how imperfectly I'm doing this. Okay. Now, if I were to save this, I wouldn't have my hoops, right? So you might think, okay, how am I gonna do this? Number one, I am going to shift-click the top and the bottom, or I'm going to click the top layer of my wood, shift-click the bottom layer of my wood, and then click this layer group button to make a layer group. Call that new wood. And what I want to do is have the hoops overlay over the wood, and I think I can do that. I think I can. If I turn off this new wood layer so that I can only see now all of the gray strips, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold down my left mouse button over this magic wand selection tool, or quick selection tool, and click on the magic wand selection tool, which I don't often advocate using, but I'm going to do it this time. It's the magic wand tool. I am going to uncheck contiguous. So it will be non-contiguous selection, and that means it will select anything. Like if I clicked on the gray, it would select all of the grays. Okay, and that's what I want. And I am going to select sample all layers, and that allows me to sample from every single layer. And I'm going to give myself a tolerance of 20, which is actually pretty high for what I'm doing. And I'm going to click on this gray material. Hey, and it selected all of the gray. That's wonderful. Now I'm going to turn on my new wood layer group. I'm going to right-click my selection, select inverse, so it selects everything else, and I'm going to click Create a New Mask, or Add Layer Mask, at the bottom of my Layers panel. And that will add a layer mask onto this new wood layer group. Bam! And now it shows these... basically what it did was it disabled this part of the wood for that layer. I can disable that by holding down Shift, clicking the layer mask for that layer. Okay? And then I can actually save this. save it as a Photoshop, and I can save as a TGA, and I will save over the LP Barrel Diffuse Map 03 because I didn't really like the first one I did anyway. I'm going to click save. Do I want to replace it? You bet I do. I'm going to click it, make it smaller, like 16 bits per channel, because I think it should. And when I come back here into my Unreal Engine and I right click that LP Barrel Diffuse Map 03 and say re-import, it's going to update what that looks like. Alright, so that's cool. So that updates what that looks like. And I might like that. I might need to change the top, though, because the top looks kind of dumb now. So what I'm going to want to do is come back into Photoshop. And I will just go ahead and grab one of these layers and duplicate it. Select it. Control T, rotate it, and I'm going to rotate it negative 90 degrees. And kind of drag it up here and left click like that. And maybe even, can I stretch it? Yeah, I'll make it really big. This isn't the best idea. Here we go. And I'm going to drag this to the bottom of all of those so I don't see it. There we go. And now I'm going to hit File, Save. Save as TGA again. I'm going to save over that TGA. Uncheck alpha channels. Yes, save over at 16 bits. And come back into my Unreal Engine and again update. Re-import. There. And that's what that's going to look like. Well, now you can see that, well, we'll deal with that. I think that needs to be rotated again. So I'm going to actually do that really quickly. This needs to be rotated 90 degrees. There. I'm going to actually make it smaller and duplicate it again. But I'm going to Alt drag it to make it duplicate because I'm so cool. That's how I do it. And Alt drag it again and then say save and then say save as Targa 03 uncheck alpha channels. Yes, replace it. Okay. That will make the lines match up with the normal lines. Re-import. Yeah. There we go. See, it looks a lot better. And if I want to, now I can start getting really, really fun. I can do, I can look for, what is that word? Stencils. Right? Stencil crates. So maybe there's like stencils for crates. What am I looking for? Fragile. Maybe I'm looking for fragile. Fragile crate. Yeah, you know how this stuff is here? Fragile. So I'm going to, let's select this. Copy it. Come into my Photoshop. And I might put this here on top. Yes, I'm going to do it. And what I'm going to do is like select that F by using what is now my quick selection tool from my what used to be the magic wand. And I'm just going to see if I can use the quick select tool to left click these little areas and control click to delete from these the areas I don't want. So I'm left clicking with this tool to select it, and now I'm using spacebar to left click and drag to move beyond to the next section. Again, if I don't want to select part of the selection, I control click it. When I do want the selection, I will left click it. So control click. Is it control alt clicking? I'm so sorry. Alt click. There we go. So what I'm going to do now is say, hey, make a mask on this. Now that I've selected the fragile. And now I've got this kind of cool fragile thing. And the other thing I'm going to do is right click the layer and say convert to smart object. And what that does, it allows me to rotate this fragile word and like never distort it, except for what I just did. 100, 100, okay. Let's put that there. And I can actually, if I do F and do a cover overlay, I could make it red. Say OK, and then change the opacity. Yeah, there we go. There we go. And so now I gave it an effects, gave it a color overlay. And I could duplicate this a couple times. Duplicate. Etc. And duplicate it again. Right click, duplicate it. And I'm going to want to maybe put this on the top. And this is where I might need to remember, hey, where is that top again? So I'm going to control click and duplicate my base map. Bring it all the way up to the top, just so I can remember where it was, and set that to normal. Okay. Maybe drag it below my fragile layer, just so I can see where is it supposed to go? Alright. Maybe like right there. Let's see how that works. And of course I'll turn this off. There we go. So let's go ahead and save this. Save as. We'll once again go ahead and save this as a Targa 03. Uncheck alpha channels. Save. Yes, I want to save over it. 16-bit is fine. Go into Unreal Engine. Right click the map and say re-import. And now we've got this totally cool looking barrel. Let me just close this material, click play. Yeah. Oh, that's starting to look so freaking good. I actually do love it. I love it so much. I'm going to marry it. Oh, bam, bam, bam. Okay. Alright, I hope you had fun. This is fun for me, and I will see you later. Bye.